China is making a power move in Afghanistan. A few days back, Beijing welcomed this man. His name is Bilal Karimi. He is a former spokesperson of the Taliban regime, and now he has a new assignment. Karimi is Taliban's ambassador to China. That's him with the Chinese diplomat. There was a ceremony of sorts a few days back where Bilal Karimi presented his credentials. The Taliban says it is upgrading ties with China, taking steps towards formal recognition. Does this make China the first country to officially recognize the Taliban regime in Afghanistan? Well, Beijing is choosing its words carefully.
China always believes that Afghanistan should not be excluded from the international community. At the same time, we expect Afghanistan to further respond to the expectations of the international community.
China did not say it, but ask any diplomat and this is what they'll tell you. Accepting a diplomat's credentials is as good as formal recognition. But what's in it for China? Why would they do it? Like I said, it's a power move, a strategic investment. Let me explain this. Earlier, China said it won't interfere in Afghanistan. This country is called the graveyard of empires for a reason. But now Beijing is changing its approach. In September, China sent an ambassador to Kabul, and now the Taliban have an ambassador in Beijing. All signs point to one direction: formal recognition of the Taliban regime. China is laying the groundwork for it. It recognizes the new reality. The Taliban rule Afghanistan, whether the world likes it or not. So if you want to have anything to do with Afghanistan, you will have to deal with the Taliban. And it seems China is prepared to do that now. To become the first country to recognize the Taliban regime, they're the first to have welcomed the Taliban ambassador. Not even Pakistan has done it. Although some countries do have diplomatic missions controlled by the Taliban. There are 14 such missions in countries like Iran, Turkey, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, and some Arab and African nations. But none of them have a Taliban ambassador. The heads of these missions are called chargés d'affaires. This is a French term. It means charged with business. And this is the lowest rank of diplomatic representation. A chargé steps in when the ambassador is away or their appointment is awaited. Basically, they fill in for the ambassador. Now, these titles also have symbolic significance. Recognizing an ambassador means acknowledging a government's authority. And that's what China is doing with Kabul, accepting that the Taliban controls Afghanistan. But why do it now? Because China, too, is chasing some sort of recognition, not for its diplomats so much, but its interests. And what are China's interests in Afghanistan? Economic and strategic. Afghanistan is rich in natural resources, including oil reserves and valuable minerals like lithium and copper, and China wants access to them. It is already making big investments. In January this year, it signed a deal with Kabul to explore and develop oil reserves. The deal is worth $450 million. In April, China signed another deal for Afghanistan's lithium reserves. Do you know how much China is willing to pay for that? A whopping $10 billion. Years ago, China also secured access to copper reserves. This was in the year 2007. Beijing signed an agreement to mine copper in Afghanistan. It was a $3 billion contract. But the venture hit a dead end due to war. Now is their chance to revive it. And the Taliban would be happy to facilitate. They also want to join China's Belt and Road project. Listen to this.
We requested China to allow us to be a part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and the Belt and Road Initiative and the path that joins us through Tajikistan.
The Taliban now have an ambassador in China. Expect him to bring this up again. So there is significant money at stake. And as always, conditions apply. Chinese investments come with strings attached. They have deeper ambitions in Afghanistan, and this goes way beyond natural resources. China has been trying to secure a military foothold. Before the Taliban's takeover, Beijing helped Kabul build a military base. It funded a mountain security force. It was based in Afghanistan's Badakhshan province. And in the past, locals have seen Chinese soldiers patrolling inside Afghanistan. Expect China to ramp up these operations now. Their investments can open doors to more military engagements. And we know the US has tried it too. It tried to buy stability in Afghanistan. The plan backfired rather horribly. And now we have the Chinese there. Xi Jinping claims to be a student of history. He doesn't seem to have read Afghanistan carefully.